All righty. So I think we could get started and run through the first bit. And if there are people joining, they could sort of be right in time for Marco's presentation and the content part of the webinar. I welcome all of you. To start, I would like to acknowledge the country from which I'm kind of hosting the webinar. I'm based in Brunswick East. So I acknowledge Wurundjeri Wurrung people of Kulin Nation as the traditional custodians of the land where I'm residing and hosting the webinar from. I guess each of you are joining from different places and some people from overseas as well. So glad to have you coming in. So this is the 9th webinar that we organize from through Anvarta. And the topic today is how cities are transforming their waste management practice to resource upcycling, taking lessons from Contarina S.p.A, Italy as a case study. So I have two other people joining me as resource persons who I would introduce you in a minute. A little bit about Anvarta, a quick intro. We are primarily an organization in helping organizations to move to a circular economy. So that's our umbrella kind of theme and what we work on as a whole. In a more specific way, our work is a lot focused on helping to alternatives towards circular economy be competitive in markets. So market development, measurement, and related consulting services are what we specialize on. We have research, education, innovation, advisory, and transformation support as a part of our sort of service portfolio. Some of quick examples, research work that we have done for the Victorian government on clean economy skills and capability development. We are developing a course hub for professional development on a number of areas on transition to a circular economy, some of which are currently released and some of which are being developed. And on the innovation, advisory, and transformation support part, we do innovate on decision tools and circular business transition tools and work with companies to creating strategy roadmaps and to help that get integrated into mainstream business practice. So that's about what we do. And let me go to the content of the webinar and start by introducing the resource persons who are joining. Myself, I think I don't need to kind of go through the content and give an introduction. Just to let you know that I've worked in this area for nearly 20 years in the industry as an industry practitioner, an academic leading a research group in circular economy, and now I lead Anvarta. We are privileged to have Marco and Stephen joining today as resource persons. So thanks, Marco, for joining us from Italy. And it's very early for you. And thanks for waking up so early to participate in the webinar and to talk to us. So Marco is the International Relations Project Manager of Contarina S.p.A. I hope my pronunciation is correct, S.p.A. And he has been instrumental in promoting the not only in setting up what to bring Contarina up to what it is today, but also in spreading the message and being an ambassador to help other cities learn from it and transform their practice. And the third person is Stephen. So Stephen is the one actually made all these connections of introducing Marco as well. Stephen is not new to us. He's from Victoria. He's currently the principal of Noah Ratio, and is a former director of city operations at Wyndham City with a wealth of experience in public services, waste management, asset management, and program management. So two of them will be joining our panel today in answering the questions. So what I thought I would do is first to kind of help you kind of gather the essence of the story, set a bit of have a bit of context sort of setting with giving an idea of some of the things we could learn from the story of Contarina S.p.A. So I have a quick 5-minute intro, then I would hand over to Marco. And at the end, we have quite a bit of time, probably 20-25 minutes for questions and answers. So I'm starting with this graph, but I would let Marco explain most of it and give you the facts and details. The reason why I have it here is to just to give the basic idea why we have it as a case study. So this is what Contarina S.p.A. has been able to achieve in terms of diversion rates of value-added or upcycled materials over the years. Firstly, the consistency of the curve, upward trend of the curve, and also the fact that it's not something that has happened overnight. It's a success story with demonstrating consistent success achieved with a lot of hard work and continuous improvement over time. So that's one of the reasons why we have it as a case study. But diversion is actually a very small part of the story. And I think Marco will talk a lot about the other part of understanding the consumption, value addition to resources, and everything else. So this is kind of I would say the first piece of the story that I like to start with. So my slides is to help you understand Marco's story. So if you kind of there are quite a few things to learn from Contarina S.p.A. case study. But if I take like 3 aspects of it and give you the essence very quickly, one of the very first things that we can learn from them is how to do service design. So Contarina's service design is customized. It's very customized to the household where they can pick their type of service. There's a conversation that residents have with the waste management service at the time they start residing in a council of their needs. So their needs are understood much early on in the journey. There's a service portfolio, not just one baseline service of curbside collection. There's a base service, there's mobile service and drop-offs. And there's, at the time of collection of waste from households, there's first-hand info about disposal behavior of from residents collected through understanding what they dispose before and after emptying the bin. And then the service design aspect feeds into what happened to the materials once they are recovered and processed. So there's a kind of a total connection of how do you add value to the material being fed back to the entry point of service design for residents. That's a few key points about service design. The second one, incentive design. So Contarina S.p.A. has a pay-as-you-throw service model, which basically improves, there's incentive for residents to improve disposal behavior and also be conscious about their consumption patterns. And there are charges based on volume and services, which means higher the convenience of the service, the more you kind of, there's tendency that you pay more for that. But at the same time, the value-added materials you collect is collected by the service. You have, it kind of is passed on as a benefit to you. And there's a discount for waste reduction, which is happening approximately like, so discounts are offered to residents when they manage their waste in a way that is promoted by the organization. So that's the second part. How do you design incentives? Third one, there's a lot of investment going into education, communication, information management. Basically, everybody involved in the system, employees to residents to parts of community, understanding how the model works, what costs the system, see through the system with a fair amount of information being transparent, and a consistent investment going into improving the system. So that's the consistency of curve you saw in terms of diversion rates. So basically, out of 750 people involved in the organization, nearly 20% of the staff are in these functions of improving the system and understanding the system. So with that, I would hand over to Marco to tell the facts, figures, and the story of Contarina S.p.A. Over to you, Marco.